All right, what we're going to do is take a look at parent communication workflow using Google Sheets and also formMule, which is an add-on for Sheets. To get things started, what I've done here is I've kind of made just a list of the student email addresses sorted alphabetically. Their first name, you can include their last name if you want. Parent email addresses, you'll see here I have one of these separated by a comma, if you want to do something like that. Parent first names, last names, and I gave some kind of generic feedback. Not to say this is great feedback, but just to show how this works. And what I want to do is send this feedback to parents so that this feedback goes to these parents, this feedback goes to this parent, and so forth. All right, I don't want to compose 4 different emails. That's a lot of work. All right, so what we'll do is we're going to use a merge tool called formMule. So I'm going to go up to add-ons, and you'll see here I have formMule. You might, if you don't have this here, just go down to get add-ons and search for it. And I'm going to go to choose source data and merge type. Now, your options might look a little bit different if you're doing this for the first time, but this process from here on out will be the same. You'll see this template was made in the background, and you'll see that this sheet 1 here matches the title of sheet 1 down here. Make sure they match, okay? I never do anything with these templates, so I'm just going to hit save, and I'm going to continue. And the next part here, this kind of looks like an email. And it's saying, who am I going to send an email to? And if you look over here, these columns, these merge tags, these are all column headers from our spreadsheet. So I'm going to say, who am I going to email? I'm going to email the parent email addresses, right? And the subject is going to be feedback from, let's say, 2/28, 2/26, 2/28, we'll just put. And I'm going to put dear, or you could put good morning or whatever, but I have a pretty good relationship with the parent, so I'm going to put dear parent first name. All right, and you'll see it puts this merge tag, but also parent first. If you send this like this, it'll actually say dear parent first and then put their first name. So delete this stuff here. So dear parent first, comma. Below you will find feedback from today. All right, and then I'll just put enter, and I'll put feedback right here. Please let me know if you have any questions. You could also put a link to your web page here if you wanted to. It's like, hey, check out the new newsletter or something like that, or Spirit Week, something. Please let me know if you have any questions. Thanks, Mr. Calvin. So what this is going to do is it's actually going to take every parent email and put the feedback in the body of this email. It's going to send off 4 emails. It's going to use Gmail to do that. So the nice thing is if I go to my sent folder in Gmail, I could actually get all these emails that I sent if I ever have to go back and check, did I send feedback or what feedback did I send? I'm going to preview this. And this is what it looks like. So I'm going to send an email to these 2 email addresses. It says, Dear Daniel, that was the first name of the parent. Below you'll find your feedback. He's doing great. Please let me know if you have any questions. And here's the one to Mark. Here's the one to Jack and Diane. All right. And what I'll do is I'll hit send, and I'll get a confirmation of the sent over here on the right-hand side. Now, what I could do is I probably in my class, I would actually just call this feedback, and I would just change the feedback every time. I have a record of the feedback I sent to those students, parents. It's in my Gmail, so I don't need to keep a running record. You could make an additional column and put feedback in there if you wanted to, but I'm not even going to worry about that. All right. What I'm also going to do is this. Suppose I gave out a quiz in Google Forms, and I wanted to include that quiz grade in this feedback. All right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make 2 columns in here, and I'm going to call one of these is going to be the score from the quiz, and the other one's going to be a scaled score. That's because, we're going to grade on a 4, 3, 2, 1 scaled score. Here's my quiz grades. All right. The first thing I need to do here is I need to sort these alphabetically so that they match the list over here of the students. All right, in the other spreadsheet. So I'm going to sort by email addresses, and I'm going to sort alphabetically. So now I have KUMCC, and I'm going to copy this column that says score. It should match these alphabetically. I'd make sure you double check that. I'm going to paste those scores here. And then I'm going to do a scaled score. So a 28 out of 28 is a 4. A 27 out of 28, I'm just going to call that a 3. And then a 4, and then a 3. All right, so now when I go to send this email, when I go up to add-ons, I'm just going to actually go in the setup. I'm going to go back up just to the template. It'll skip some steps. I'm just going to change this from today's quiz scores. And I'll put the actual score and then the scaled score. Now, when I go to preview and send all, you'll notice that it's going to actually send 0 emails. It's going to send 0 because formMule reads this column. And if there's any text in here, it won't send an email to that person. So I'm going to delete this. All right, now, keep in mind, if I didn't want to send an email to Jack and Diane, I could put an X here or something. All right, actually, let's do that. And now I'm going to go back up to add-ons, formMule, and go to preview and send all. And you're going to see this is going to send 3 emails. It's going to send one to Daniel with the scores. It's going to send one to Mark. And it's going to send one to Sally. All right. Notice it skipped Jack and Diane because I had that X in there. So let's go ahead and send this. All right, and send those 3 emails. Now, next time, just go ahead and delete this column. I'll remove this text out of here, and you can send those emails again. All right, so hopefully it gives you some kind of sense of a workflow for parent feedback and communication. That's something easy to do. And the nice thing is, because this is a Google Doc, you can share this with another teacher if you have a co-teacher in your classroom and they want to provide feedback as well. All right.